ki jai. Jayam Vishnupada Paramhamsa Paribrajakacharjasta Terasita Sri Sriman Srila Bhakti Rakak Sri Dardev Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Welcome to Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Mission morning class. Is it live yet? Jai Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj ki jai. Srila Om Vishnupadesi Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. So we're continuing to read the Antya Lila. This is the third chapter of the first volume, and this is entitled The Glories of Haridas Thakur. It's so uplifting to hear about Haridas Thakur. Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda Jai Dvaita Chandra Jai Gaur Bhaktivinoda
Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda Jai Dvaita Chandra Jai Gaur Bhaktivinoda.
Haribol Jai. Now we're on text number 258. Well, I'll go back a couple of verses. So who is speaking right now is Parvati. Parvati, who is Maya Devi herself, the wife of Lord Shiva, and she came to test Haridas Thakur. So the first test came from Ramachandra Khan's machinations to dishonor Srila Haridas Thakur, which backfired pretty dramatically when that prostitute became a really exalted Vaishnava by the influence of Haridas Thakur. The second time was Durga Devi herself. So when she appeared near the cave of Haridas Thakur, the whole place became full of effulgence, like some kind of fragrance. Her body was because she's a goddess. She is the first goddess. So her influence was very strong. But he's in the Nirguna plane, so he had no connection with that plane of existence at all. No influence at all. And she was so astonished. She's asking him, you please give me the holy name of Krishna. And she said, formerly I received the holy name of Lord Ram from Lord Shiva, her husband. But now, due to your association, I am greatly eager to chant the holy name of Lord Krishna. The holy name of Lord Ram certainly gives liberation, but the holy name of Krishna transports one to the other side of the ocean of nescience, and at last gives some ecstatic love of Krishna. So this is text 258. Krishna nama deha tumi more kara danya amare bhashaya jaiche e prema vanya. Please give me the holy name of Krishna, and thus make me fortunate so that I may also float in the flood of love of Godhead inaugurated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we are all under the influence of Maya Devi at the present time, or at least in my case. So when we can see her as a Vaishnavi, this is very, very good for us. And yes, Mother, this punishment is coming to me. It is my choice to have come under your influence. Now that you are punishing me, this is good for me. We will always be humble and bow down to what is coming to us, even in the form of urges. Vacho Vegam, Manasa Vegam, Krodha Vegam, Jiva Vegam, Udada Vegam, and Upasta Vegam. These are all urges which we have because of our own decision for these addictions. So let them trouble us and tolerate that as far as possible, or at least manage it in a way to enhance our Krishna consciousness, and like especially by taking prasadam, for example, and and tolerate that these urges have come as a reaction to my own activities. So let me feel this. This is good for me. And when we can take this attitude, very quickly these things dissipate. Yes. This is coming as a reaction, and it is good for me. Atabali Vandila Haridasera Charana Haridasa Kahe Kara Krishna Sankirtana. After speaking in this way, Maya worshipped the lotus feet of Haridas Thakur, who initiated her by saying, just perform chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Now, even Maya wanted to be favored by Haridas Thakur. Therefore, Haridas Thakur formally initiated her by asking her to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So Maya Devi is a Vaishnava, initiated by Haridas Thakur. So what is the problem? The problem is my own decision, not her. She is not the problem. Upadesha panya maya chalila hanya prita eshabakata te karo na janme pratita. After thus being instructed by Haridas Thakur, Maya left with great pleasure. Unfortunately, some people have no faith in these narrations. Pratita karite kahi karana ihara jahara shravanehaya vishpasha shabara. Therefore, I shall explain the reasons why people should have faith. Everyone who hears this will be faithful. Any questions so far?
What text are we on? I'm sorry.
Oh, that was 261. So now 262. Do you want me to wait a second?
No, everything's good. Thank you.
Chaitanya avatare Krishna preme lubdhanya Brahma Shiva Sanakari Pritivite Janmiya. During the incarnation of Lord Chaitanya to inaugurate the Krishna consciousness movement, even such personalities as Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and the 4 Kumaras took birth upon this earth, being allured by ecstatic love of Lord Krishna. So those personalities who were already very exalted, they became more glorious. In the time of Mahaprabhu, they permanently more glorious. Krishna nama lanyanache prema vanyaya base Narada pralada diase manusha prakashe. All of them, including the great sage Narada, and devotees like Prahlad came here in the guise of human beings, chanting the holy names of Lord Krishna together, and chanting and floating in the inundation of love of Godhead. Lakshmi Adi Kari Krishna Preme Lubdhanya Nama Prema Ashvadila Manushe Janmiya. Manushe Janmiya means taking birth in human society. The goddess of fortune and others, allured by love of Krishna, also came down in the form of human beings and tasted the holy name of the Lord in love. Ribo. Anyera kakata apane brajendra nandana avatari karena prema rasa aspadana. So we can remember, these great personalities did not come to the earth to do the earth fun thing. That's like pathetic to them. Come to the earth to enjoy themselves? This would be like... But they came to get love of Godhead. So we should remember what is really valuable on this earth. That even those souls, like the 4 Kumaras, Prahlad Maharaj, Narada Muni, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, even Maya Devi, came to taste that love of Godhead. So what is valuable here? That is the Sankirtan movement of Mahaprabhu. And it doesn't go on forever, but it does go on for some time. What to speak of others? Even Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj, personally descends to taste love of Godhead. Even Krishna wants to taste that love of Krishna. And that's why he's taken the heart and halo of Radha. That's how sweet that is. In the form of chanting of Hare Krishna. Maya dasi prema mage ite ki bishmaya. Sadhu kripa nama bina prema na janmaya. What is the wonder if the maidservant of Krishna, his external energy, begs for love of Godhead, without the mercy of a devotee, and without the chanting of the holy name of the Lord, love of Godhead cannot be possible, even for her. She had to approach Haridas Thakur. Any questions so far?
Will you please repeat this one verse?
So the verse is, what is the wonder? So what to speak? If the maidservant of Krishna, his external energy begs for love of Godhead.
Like Maya.
If even Krishna himself wants to feel what is love of Godhead.
To speak about Maya.
Yeah. So what is wonderful about that? If even Krishna, even the internal potency, Lakshmi Devi, she's also coming to this planet for this taste of love of God that Mahaprabhu is giving. She is in Dwaraka Lila.
What is the difference between Lakshmi Devi and Maya Devi? The internal and the external energy.
Lakshmi Devi has many forms, and one of them is Rama. Rama, R-A-M, a long A at the end, Rama. Rama Devi, her shadow is Maya Devi. It's like a shadow. The whole thing is like a shadow. But she's like the shadow form. But she herself is also a person. And she can also develop love of Godhead.
Does Shiva and Lord Brahma also have a shadow? I remember once you mentioned that there's a Shiva that is in the spiritual world, a Shiva that is in the material world.
Well, it's the same person, but he is coming in a different form as Rudradev in the material world. But we've been hearing in Brihad Bhagavatamrita how he is existing in Sadashiva Loka. Like the Shiva temple in our temple in Navadvip, Srila Guru Dev brought Sadashiva. That is the Shiva beyond the mundane world. The original.
Does Krishna have a shadow?
Krishna? Actually, he's not dealing with these things personally. It's his expansions who are dealing with the material world. And that's a whole description in the Srimad Bhagavatam of how the Lord is expanding and then coming to Mahavishnu after so many expansions. Mahavishnu is breathing out so many universes, like how many particles of atoms are in our breath. Like that, breathing out little particles of universes. And then entering into each one of them. And his eternal consort, Rama Devi, she is also entering into the material. She is that energy, her shadow, and the glance of Mahavishnu is Shiva of the mundane world. And he is united with Rama Devi. Anyway, this is a very complex thing.
Thank you, Didi.
So this is a really important verse. What is the wonder if the maidservant of Krishna, his external energy, begs for love of Godhead, without the mercy of a devotee and without the chanting of the holy name of the Lord, love of Godhead cannot be possible.
There's a question. Do you want to hear now from Ganga Lila Didi?
Okay.
She asked, Where can I learn more about the 4 Kumaras?
The 4 Kumaras? There's many things. I would say Srimad Bhagavatam, if you wanted to start there. And the Brihad Bhagavatamrita is also speaking about, in the second part of the Brihad Bhagavatamrita, how Gopakumar goes to the planet of the 4 Kumaras, which is called Siddhaloka, maybe? I forget now. But anyhow, yeah. And the whole history of how the 4 Kumaras approached Lord Narayan is in the story in the Srimad Bhagavatam of Lord Nrsingadev. How those 4 great souls approached Lord Narayan, and so many things happened by smelling the tulsi leaf. The tulsi leaves and flowers on the feet of the Lord, they became connected with the upper plane, where before that they were trying for the non-differentiated plane. And also how they were born is maybe in the 5th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. How they were the sons of Brahma and refused to grow up and become Prajapatis. Most of the sons of Brahma became Prajapatis, filling up the universe with progeny. But they didn't want to do that. They didn't want to become entangled in that. They said, we want to stay young. We want to stay children and not become entangled in all these relationships and all that. And they did. But he was very angry about that because they were his sons and they had a job to do. But they took the higher job. A lower job may be given up for a higher job. But if we give up a higher job for a lower job, then we're in trouble. But anyway, Lord Brahma's anger produced Lord Shiva. Popped out from here. You can see when someone's angry.
Well, Antya Lila Didi asks, who are they?
Oh, who are they? Again, they're the sons of Brahma. I mean, I know you asked that question a minute ago before I was saying that. But they're 4 great sages. And we read in the prayers to Srimati Radharani, which we don't sing except during Kartik time, that they are also worshiping her divine qualities. So if you have Veda base, for example, you can put in the 4 Kumaras. You can get Veda bases available for everyone online. But you can put in the 4 Kumaras, and many, many references to them will come up that you can read. But we're interested in the highest position of everyone. So we are interested in the 4 Kumaras, in their relationship to Mahaprabhu, and their appreciation of the divine, of the highest form, which is mentioned in that prayer that I just said, which we're singing during the Kartik time. But you can find out much about them. So text 266. Chaitanya Gosira Lilara Eta Svabhava Tribhuvana Nachegaya Panya Prema Bhava. In the activities of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the 3 worlds dance and chant, having come in touch with love of Godhead. This is the characteristic of his pastimes, that the whole world, the whole universe, becomes affected by love of Godhead. Krishna Riyar Jata Stavara Jangame Krishna Preme Matakari Krishna Sankirtane. The holy name of Krishna is so attractive that anyone who chants it, including all living entities moving and non-moving, and even Lord Krishna himself, becomes imbued with love of Krishna. This is the effect of chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. What to speak of what effect it will have on us. We simply need to avoid offenses. The offenses are very much disturbing for our connection with the holy name. Swarupa Gosai Karachaya Jai Lila Likila Raghunatha Dasa Mukhe Nashaba Shunila. I have heard from the mouth of Raghunath Das Goswami that I have heard from the mouth of Raghunath Das Goswami all that Swarup Damodar Goswami recorded in his notes about the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj now is saying, Srila Raghunath Das Goswami gave me all that he had heard from Swarup Damodar. And Swarup Damodar was, you could say, the secretary. He wrote down all the pastimes of Mahaprabhu as they were happening. Haridasa Thakurera Kahilu Mahimara Kana Jahara Shravane Bhaktera Judaya Shravana. I have described but a fragment of the glories of Haridas Thakur. Hearing this satisfies the oral reception of every devotee. We want to hear something beautiful. He said every devotee will be so satisfied hearing this. And now Krishnadas Kaviraj is saying, I've only described a tiny drop, a fragment of the glories of Haridas Thakur. Shri Rupa Raghunatha Padejara Asha Chaitanya Charitamrita Kahe Krishnadas, praying at the lotus feet of Shri Rupa and Shri Raghunath, always desiring their mercy. I, Krishnadas, narrate Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, following in their footsteps. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports to Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Antya Lila, 3rd chapter, describing the glories of Srila Haridas Thakur. Jai. Any questions about Srila Haridas Thakur? I mean, these is just 2 or 3 little things about him. Okay, we're going on to chapter 4 now. Sanatana Goswami visits the Lord at Jagannath Puri. So now we're going to hear about Srila Sanatana Goswami. All right. Everybody okay in the kitchen? All right. The 4th chapter is summarized by Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his Amrita Pravaha Bhasya as follows. Srila Sanatana Goswami came alone from Mathura to Jagannath Puri to see Lord Chaitanya. Who did that? Srila Sanatana Goswami came alone from Mathura, which means Vrindavan, to Jagannath Puri to see Lord Chaitanya. Because of bathing in bad water and not getting enough food every day while traveling on the path through the Jarikanda forest, he developed a disease that made his body itch. Suffering greatly from this itching, he resolved that in the presence of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he would throw himself under the wheel of Jagannath's car. When Sanatana Goswami came to Jagannath Puri, he stayed under the care of Haridas Thakur for some time, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very happy to see him. So he came to Jagannath Puri. Who is that?
Bill.
Oh.
Bill Prabhuji.
When Sanatana Goswami came to Jagannath Puri, he stayed under the care of Haridas Thakur, so he stayed with him for some time, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very happy to see him. The Lord informed Sanatana Goswami about the death of his younger brother Anupama, Sanatana's younger brother, who had great faith in the lotus feet of Lord Ramachandra. One day Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said to Sanatana Goswami, "Your decision to commit suicide is the result of the mode of ignorance. One cannot get love of God simply by committing suicide, meaning giving up his body. I have to execute many devotional services through your body. That means I have many things that I will accomplish through you. These are the divine pastimes. That means Sanatana Goswami is his decision. First of all, we cannot think of this as actually being in the mode of ignorance. But for us it will be. We should never think of this. It is a very rotten thing to do. But he did not want Mahaprabhu to be around him. This was his mood. So we have to not to judge again about the Ganga. We have to understand that these devotees are acting in this way to give an example to us and to be sure that these things will never, and Mahaprabhu, through instructing his devotees, whom he has temporarily put into a certain mentality, just as Arjuna will never run away from a battle for any reason. But temporarily he's put into this situation, and the result is Bhagavad Gita, which has been studied for 5,000 years. It is so profound. So these pastimes of the Lord's devotees are not mundane, and we should never think of it that way. But we should take the instructions that are coming through the devotee, just like, again, I mentioned this a few days ago, but Srila Prabhupada used to say, in Bengal, when the son is married, that daughter-in-law, she will move to the home of her husband, and his mother will be her mother-in-law, and she will instruct her about how things are done in that house. But if she's very considerate, she will instruct her by instructing her own daughter. Now her daughter's not actually doing anything wrong because she already knows how to do things in that house. But she will instruct her, the daughter-in-law, by instructing the daughter. And that will be more considerate of the daughter-in-law, gentle way. So in a gentle way, Mahaprabhu is instructing us by instructing his devotees. And we are learning so much from that. Any questions about this point? So again, we're coming now to read again Upadesamrita and this 6th verse about not judging what the great, perfect devotees are doing according to some understanding of the ordinary plane. It will be a great mistake. Your decision to commit suicide is the result of the mode of ignorance. One cannot get love simply by committing suicide. You have already, so he's saying, I'm leaving this world, I'm just an offense. I'm walking offense. My body is oozing all this bad smell and everything. I just need to leave, and I'm doing this in the service of the Lord. So I'm not going to create a disturbance. He's saying one does not get love of God simply by committing suicide. You have already dedicated your life and body to my service. Therefore your body does not belong to you, nor do you have any right to commit suicide. I have to execute many devotional services through your body. I want to preach the call to devotional service and to go to Vrindavan. I want you to preach the call of devotional service and go to Vrindavan to excavate the holy places.